For all your logistic needs, call 631-299-3595. That's 631-299-3595. Elm Global Logistics. Pride, performance, and partnerships. Do the show.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, where we have icon pro wrestling treasure Jose Luis Rivera in studio. Yeah, baby. Where my partner starts asking Jose for Johnny Rods' phone number.
Yeah.
I don't even know where that comes from.
Why not?
How was the flight from Puerto Rico? Heard you had a rough time, my friend.
It was a rough time, bro.
What?
But I had to give it to you guys. You know the Conquistador gonna be here, so you put a golden microphone. I give it to you, bro.
Look at that.
That's great.
What color coordinates?
I was actually going to wear a mask.
Okay.
And eat a sandwich?
Well, that's usually my last question, but I got to be honest with you, right?
Yeah,
when you're
come on.
wearing a mask and stuff, you got to hide your identity. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you eat sandwiches
With
with
the
your
mask?
mask on,
mask
keep
on.
it on, or
Yeah.
Do the ice cream with a mask on.
What happens? Does it go down your cape?
That was a commercial that I do for the WWF ice cream, so that we had to eat it. Wow.
How hot was that outfit?
Well, but you get used to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you're a big guy, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're wearing that thing. You must have lost 50 pounds every time.
Sort of, yeah. We don't that way you get over 50.
Did you dig? Did
After
you
finish?
Did you dig the Conquistador when it was approached, to you to do the Conquistadors? Were you like, yeah,
Yes.
nice?
I love the
nice.
Conquistadors.
They were
That was the
fantastic.
best thing that we do. Was Estrada at night. I don't know why he wanted to come here, but he's supposed to be here, but he got a little problem, so he stay home. So I'm
Jose
here.
Estrada.
That's all it counts.
So tomorrow, will you be wearing half Conquistador for a little while, and then be Jose Luis Rivera Big Mac? Or,
You're both.
Or are you just going to be Big Mac tomorrow?
But I think I got the whole Conquistador outfit, so
Cool.
I may wear the whole
Cool.
Conquistador outfit. So.
That is awesome.
What is it like to
It's
have
gonna be look good. Huh?
What is it like to have split gimmicks? I mean, you're known for multiple personas in pro wrestling. It's pretty cool.
I do about what? Black Demon, Red Demon, The Shadow, Conquistador, Juan Lopez, Mac Rivera, Jose Luis, a bunch of them. So you
Right.
get used to it. Well, sometimes you don't know who you are, so then you have to who I am. Okay, entonces now.
Who am I?
Who am?
Well, let me ask you this.
Oh, my
This is probably the
God.
most important part. So when you were doing all these gimmicks at some point, I think you maybe had 2 or whatever.
Two main ones, and with Vince. Yes.
Did you get paid twice?
If I wrestle twice, yes.
So you got paid twice?
Yeah.
Did
So
you ever wrestle twice on the same card as Juan Luis? Jose Luis Rivera and
The Conquistador,
Are you
or
serious?
Red Demon, Black Demon.
sure.
I used to do it.
you got two. Black Demon.
You must have loved
Wait.
Did they ever
Black
try to
De-
put Black Demon against Big
They-
Mac and then he make a mistake on the card or something like that? And you're like, well, you can't do this.
Wait a minute.
I'm the same
You
guy.
versus you?
That should be interesting, though.
Now hold on. I just want to clarify because not only am I drunk, I'm a little fuzzy, so I have
Yeah, I
to
can
ask.
see that, yeah,
I-
that's no
he-
problem.
of course he can
So
see
could
it.
the entire world.
He
There you
doesn't,
go.
he doesn't need an interpreter for
It
that.
might be the slur.
I mean, my lord. No, the Cobra Clutch Challenge.
The
Cobra,
Cobra
yeah, there it
Clutch,
is. There it is.
there
Cobra
you
Clutch. There you go.
There you go.
Black Demon. Was that you? That
Black Demon.
waved off Sergeant Slaughter, and then Pat Patterson came in and got. Was that you? Black Demon?
Black Demon. I do the Black Demon, Red Demon, the Shadow.
Wow. He walked away
And
from
the
Sergeant
Conquistador.
Slaughter before Pat Patterson. That's
Unbelievable.
fantastic.
So when you first
God.
came in to your first time in Madison Square Garden, what was that like?
Well, that was a big thing. First time I was there. When I get in the ring, I was wrestling SD John. So I started in the middle of the ring, and I went around, and I was thinking, wow, the son of Marcelino Rivera, the cab driver from Puerto Rico, at the Madison Square Garden, and SD John look at me and say, "Amigo, what happened to you? What happened?" No, I'm okay. Let's go. I was thinking of that,
Wow.
I've been watching when I was grow up in Brooklyn, New York. Every 15 days they come to the garden, so I buy the ticket. If I go today to the wrestling Madison Square Garden, next day I go there and buy the ticket for the next show. So I be there all the show. Pedro Morales, Bruno San Martino. I used to watch them in Madison Square Garden. Imagine standing in the middle of the ring in Madison Square Garden. That was the bigger thing I ever do.
And I remember your debut in Madison Square Garden. I remember it to this day, because I remember when they announced you did this, like, right? You used to do this, and yeah, what an honor it's to have you in the studio. Thank you again for
Thank you,
gracing
guys.
you with
Thank
your presence. Thank you so much.
What made you get into this amazing business? You were clearly a fan. Sounds like you were attending the matches before you got into the business. How'd you get in?
Well, when I was a little kid, I used to watch the wrestling in Puerto Rico. So there was a baseball park. The kid went there and do the wrestling stuff, whatever they do. And when I came down to New Jersey, in Patterson, New Jersey. I grew up there, and there was like a church in the basement. There was a guy teaching wrestling, so I went there to wrestle. I went a couple of shows. In one of the practice, they threw me and I went head first. So that's it, no more wrestling for me. I was 14 by that time, so I left until I met Pedro Morales in Brooklyn. And I was talking to Morales. He told me to go to the William Virgin in Brooklyn. There was a guy named Isao Rosario. Say, if when you get there, to Rosario that I send you, when you learn something, you get up from there, because you stay there, you're going to stay there forever. When you learn, just go away and work, do something else. So that's what I do. I start there. In 3 weeks, I was doing my first match. You know, me and my brother was a tag team, the Rivera brothers. I made it, my brother just stay away from there. So we wrestled a guy they call the Carabias, the worst people in there. They beat the hell out of us. So, but I still working on when I get a little better, so I went to New Jersey. I do Ringside 41, and I do a little independent show. And I went to Texas. And I went to Texas to a wrestling show in Houston, Texas. And I saw a wrestler, Mexican wrestler named Jose Lotario. So I talked to Jose Lotario. I told him the promoter from Puerto Rico is a Mexican guy. Send me to talk to him. You know, nobody told me to talk to Jose, but I went there and told him, yeah, the promoter from Puerto Rico told me to talk to you, so you could help me there. And he went to get a promoter. I talked to the promoter, and they give me a tryout. They want to, okay, you come to Dallas, Texas, from Houston to Dallas, 10 o'clock on Tuesday. I went there. It was about 9 o'clock, something like that. I know I get there 30 minutes late. And they told me, oh, you're too late. Come next week. After I drove 3 hours to go to Dallas. Come back next week. Okay, next week I went there at 8 o'clock. I was there. So I went to the practice with one of the tag team champions. And instead of about 2 minutes, that's all. He said, okay, you know what you're doing. And the booker there was Gary Hart. Gary Hart said, he told me, listen, I got this kid supposed to go to Florida, but he get hurt, so could you take his place? I said, yes. He sent me to NWA to Tampa. Then we start with a big company, and I think it was by the end of 78, beginning of 79, something like that. And I spent about eight months in Tampa, Orlando, all Florida. Dusty Rhodes was there. Bob Backlund was there.
Bob Backlund.
The old Orton, his father, Bob, and the Bob Button, and father and son. Most of the other the big star that was in the 80s, that was an NWA.
How do you get the Vince? How do you want it with Vince McMahon Sr.?
After I left NWA, I went to a show in that was Allentown. They do TV.
Sure.
And that was Billy Graham Superstar talking to Albano. And I went wrestled with Superstar when I was in Florida, so he know me. So I went to say hi. So he told Albano that I was a good worker to talk to the officer, so they give me a break. And they give me a break, and they put me there. They got, what's your name? Oh, Mac Rivera. Everybody in Puerto Rico named Rivera? I said, well, that's my last name. They say, okay, you are Juan Lopez. Okay.
Yeah, who?
Juan Lopez.
That's why I said Juan before. I didn't realize it was subconscious.
So I started
Juan
with
Lopez.
Juan Lopez.
That's great.
I
That's
started with a
great.
match with Ken Patera. I beat Ken Patera at that time. DQ.
What?
I beat him. I win the first match.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They take me out-
Televised?
They take me out of the treasure, but I win.
Okay, so you beat him, but then he stretched it. He gave you the
Okay.
No,
Hey,
it
but you
was the
beat
Q.
him.
The Q.
I
So
want to go back to superstar Billy Graham,
Sure.
right? So you were friends with Graham. How was he a person back then? And the reason I ask you is now he seems to be
Pissed
I know
off?
he's towards the end of his life
He's
and
pissed
he's
off.
suffering and he's in a lot of pain.
Fair enough.
But he's been very angry over the years. Was he like that back then? Or?
no. Well, with me, he always was a gentleman. Every time I was there for 8 months, driving with all those people there in the same dressing room. So we get close. I don't know. Everybody that I was there, they got along with me very good. So maybe because I'm a nice guy.
So you get to Allentown. So what happened? How'd you break in with Senior?
Well, first when they put me Juan Lopez, I don't like
Juan
the way
Lopez.
Juan Lopez. I
Oh,
don't
boy.
like the way they treat people. They don't
Okay.
they don't respect you. Or give me a body so he could work with this guy so I spent about a couple of months and I left. I went to Independent Wrestling, New Jersey. I spent there a couple of years. I went back in 81 or the end 81, 82. So then I went there. I went by myself. I take my bag, got in there, and that's it. They told me, who sent you here? Nobody. I just came by myself. Okay. That's it. If we need you, we call you. Okay, I will take my bag and put it in the side. So they called me that I work with Ivan Pusky. Say, you want to work with Ivan Pusky? Okay, I work with anybody. So they put me with Ivan Pusky, and it's a great match. It's in YouTube, some play. Mac Rivera, Ivan Pusky. That day they let me the name by Mac Rivera.
That's really
I used
good.
the
There
Mac
you go.
Rivera. So
Okay.
then-
How was
so-
Putski? Was he hard to work with? I've heard rumors he.
Well, he liked the way I work with him because when he give me a close line or something, I go back to the throw roll down.
Hey, you made him look
Right
good.
now,
You made
nobody
him
do
look
that.
really
When I
good.
was there, nobody do that.
Right.
Nowadays they do everything, but by that time, to come out flying from the third row with a close line or with a bookie, the Polish power, that was
Yeah,
something great.
You know what I think I remember? Oh my God. I got a few fan questions. Guardian of Chaos says, Jose, question: have you talked to your old buddy Manzanita? Mario
Manzanita.
Thank you.
Yeah, help us out here.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to him?
Yes, he's gonna be there tomorrow. He's gonna be in the
Oh.
there tomorrow. There, Manzanita, Mario Mancini.
Oh, Mario Mancini. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Is
sorry.
that
Was
what
it
that
that's
was?
yeah?
I'm
Well,
trying
what
to
am I,
figure
an
out who
idiot?
we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's a good
And
friend.
I'm drunk.
That's
Next.
what I call him, Manzanita,
Aye.
because it's Mancini, Manzanita, yes.